There are those of us who are called to bigger, bolder, greater things. And right now in this world where things are changing every single day, the world around us is adjusting. Are you in this moment ready to calibrate? Amazing, incredible friends. How are you doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. If you are joining us here live on Zoom, I love you. I see you. I cherish you. Hello, hello. And for those of you who are watching us in the group as well, hello, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. And just know that I would love to hear from you. What do you think about when you think about calibration? If you want to drop in the comments, let me know, what do you think about when you think about calibration? And just know that this time is going to be a time where we are going to be in calibration together. In calibration together. And to calibrate, for those of you who are car buffs out there, you know that we need to calibrate our spark plugs in our cars, or sometimes we need to calibrate with the current climate that is happening in the world. And so for us right now, to calibrate means to adjust to the current economy, right? Adjust to those things that may or may not be happening in the world. There's lots of craziness going on in the world right now. I just had to have a trip that I had planned to Peru was canceled because of all of the craziness that's happening in the world. So as you guys know, there's prices going up, things are happening. So this is our time to calibrate. This is our time to calibrate. So as we think about this word calibration, I want us to go ahead. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to imagine now that you are on a timeline moving forward into the future. Imagine yourself floating above the air, floating above your timeline that is your life. And as you are floating forward a month, 2 months, 3 months into the future, notice what it feels like to be in observation, to notice that from this bird's eye view, everything is peaceful, everything is joy. Go ahead and move forward further and further into your timeline. Moving forward 6 months. Moving forward into the future. 9 months. Forward into 1 year from today. I want you to imagine right now that you are floating above yourself 1 year from today. It's February 6th, of 2024. In this moment, you have every single thing that you desire. You are being the future vision of yourself. And as you step out into this bold version of yourself, I want you to look, listen. I want you to imagine now that you are stepping into the frame, into the picture, until you are standing next to yourself, holding hands, embracing. And I want you to ask yourself now, as you look in the eyes of your future self, ask her, what is it that you want me to know? What is it that you want me to know? What wisdom, what words, what pieces of advice would she give to you right now? And I want you to put your arms out and embrace this future version of yourself. Bring her in closer to you. Embrace her until she is a part of you. And as you integrate together, know that at any moment, you can tap into this source of wisdom, into this version of you, the future self, who has accomplished the goals that you want to accomplish, is being the incredible being that you are. You are her, she is you, and you are one. When you're ready, take a couple of deep breaths. I want you to feel what it feels like to be supported underneath the chair beneath you. To feel the earth supporting you. To feel exactly what it feels like to be here in this moment, to be present in your body. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to the room. Be here. Open your eyes. Feel the presence. Feel the being. Hello, everybody. How was that? I hope what you experienced was some answers to maybe some feelings you are feeling or some questions you are wondering about, maybe a direction that you are wondering about going in your life. And so for those of you who do not know me, my name is Val Nichols, and I am a business coach for heart-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. We are here today to talk about calibration. And we are not only going to calibrate today, we are going to celebrate the calibration that we experience. And the reason why, as we walk into February of 2023, the reason why I felt the urgency to share this right now is because we are experiencing a lot of change. We're experiencing a lot of things in the world that may or may not feel like they are just, and for us to calibrate, for us to step out to be the light that the world needs, we must calibrate. And so there's a lot of things happening in the world. There's a lot of, unknowns. There's a lot of things happening in our business, in our lives. And so I want to encourage you guys that as we step out and we have tapped into the source that is our higher self, right? Whether if that was your higher self, if it was angels, if it was the universe that was coming to you, that was inspiring you, that was speaking to you, just know that the wisdom and guidance that you were given is going to be so worthy in allowing you to calibrate. So I want you to take a moment now to just grab your journal and a pen if you have one handy and write down anything that may have came up for you, anything that felt that you heard, that you were, inspired by. So take a couple of moments to go ahead and just write about your experience and what you heard from your higher self. Maybe you heard some wise advice. Maybe you heard some wisdom from your future self. Whatever that is for you, go ahead and write it down. Any phrases, any questions you asked. Knowing that in any moment you can tap into that higher self. All right. I encourage you that if you did not get enough time to write down everything that you heard or you saw or the wisdom you were given from your higher self, do take some time this afternoon to journal on that, to meditate, to lean in, to get curious about what that could be for you. What is the message that's coming through for you? And also, if you do have any specific things you'd like to share in the chat, please do feel free to drop it in the chat if you would like to share with us, and we can also have a time for sharing later on in this call as well. So as we talk about calibrating, I know each one of us has different goals, different dreams, different wisdoms that are here watching. I know all of you, and I know you well. And the great thing about this is whether we are stepping out into a bold new experience, maybe you're starting a new business, maybe you're leaving the corporate world, maybe you're starting a new brand that may feel a little uncomfortable, maybe you're venturing out into a new thing, maybe you are writing that book that you've always wanted to write. Whatever it is that we are experiencing, there are certain things that we get to sink into during this time where there's a shift in the world, during this time where there are things happening around us. We get to focus on a couple of things that I'm going to share with you guys today. Number one, if you want to calibrate into this new world, into this new venture that you're starting, into this new thing that you're stepping into, know that we must invent a solution. We invent a solution. So what is it that your audience, your people, the people you are here on earth that you are meant to serve, what is it that they are experiencing that could be painful? And I'm the type of coach, I don't believe in speaking to people's brokenness because we're not broken. You are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete. And if we can bring a solution to enhance the lives of those we are meant to serve, then we are going to create amazing, incredible magic in the world. So what is it that you have proven you can create through innovating a product? Maybe it's a whole new business and there's someone out there that has challenges that you can see. And you know, that whole adage of if you build it, they will come probably would not work in this new world. There's a lot of mindset out there or thoughts of being that if we just create the website, we just do the thing, that people will show up. But you've either got to be the first or the best, right? We innovate, we calibrate. So what is it that you are solving for your clients? This could be, maybe they're searching for something unique that stands out in the market. Maybe they're searching for something that no one else is providing. Maybe when everyone else is zigging in the market, you're going to zag, right? I look at examples in the music world like Beyonce. When everyone else is zigging, she zags. When everyone's doing this, she goes the other route. She does the other thing. You know, Apple, they have been extremely successful, and because they've innovated, they've created those raving fans. Which leads me to the second part of calibration. As we calibrate into this new world, we want to aspire to stand out. Aspire to be in discipline for yourself, to calibrate to new habits. Because how many of us know what we should be doing, but we don't always do it? And during these times, we all know there's several industries out there where maybe it's been saturated over the last couple of years. And the great part about that is those who calibrate, those who adjust, those who stand out, those who are, you know, innovating, those who play the long game. We get to stay in the market. We get to show up for our clients in ways that other people aren't showing up for them. And as we talk about calibrating, we also want to think about, you know, what are the ways that we can increase our streams of income? And this is something I know one woman on here could talk a lot more about, you know, investing and doing all those things. And, you know, how is it that you can start diversifying your income and creating new streams of income? And this can be in ways such as, e-commerce. You can create products. We can do affiliate marketing. We can do all kinds of different things where, we can start really digging out our niche in the market in creative ways. Think about, for example, if you write a book, you could create a workbook that goes with it, a journal, maybe a blog site that goes with the book, where you can now have products, t-shirts. You can have different ways of, creating multiple streams of income. As we get innovative and creative to calibrate to this new world, to this new market, just know that there's more opportunities now than there has ever been. This is one of the most exciting times to be in the world. This is one of the most exciting times when we literally have a global market and endless opportunities. So be thinking about, what are those things you can do? What are new ways to think outside of the box? And if you don't know, you might start asking people around you. Something I did a couple years ago is I started asking my audience, what would you guys want from me? If you could have something like a bonus offer or something from me, and some of the things, the feedback I got back shocked me. They were like, we want access to your team. We want done for you social media. We want, to be able to look at a calendar and approve things, or, just have something be set up where we can just have our social media, and then you send us a report at the end of the month. So we created that. We created that. These are things I would have never thought of. So think about, if you don't know what that is right now, think about asking those around you, the people you currently serve, what else would you want from me? That could be, hey, we want access to your bookkeeper. We want access to how you create spreadsheets, or the spreadsheets that you've already created. And, that could be something that is so out of the box thinking. I've actually had people ask me to do makeup tutorials. I'm like, that is not my beat, but thank you for asking. Like, show us how you do your makeup. It's always so on point. Show us how you do your hair. So what is it that your audience, your business, the clients that you serve desire from you? And as we calibrate into a brand new way of being, as we calibrate and step into the life, the business, the legacy that we truly desire. There's something I love about heart-centered business, is that we get to fulfill a legacy. We get to create an empire, and each one of us has a different reason why. Right? When we tap into that deeper purpose, that deeper passion, that deeper why, it starts to unfold, it starts to reveal, it starts to uncover things that we may or may not have even realized when we started. As I was preparing for this morning, man, let me tell you guys, I don't know if you believe in spiritual warfare or anything like that, but the last 48 hours of my life, I realized I was going through some unexpected challenges. And it revealed some fears and some old ideas and some stories I'd been living in. right? And it's always interesting how when you start to step out and you do something that is so deep in your purpose and something that is so beautiful and opening like this, that now all of a sudden you're faced with yourself, you're faced with those things. And I've heard it said in a training I did once, they talked about how anytime, and I know some of you have heard this from me, but anytime you step out and you declare and you calibrate to the new level, you calibrate to the new thing, anything that's not that shows up. Anything that's not that will appear to serve you, right? To serve you. So when we decide, and I feel like a broken record saying this, I've been saying it for probably 3 months straight. But when we decide, it's kind of like when you're a surgeon and you make an incision, you're cutting something open. When we decide, we are cutting away any other possibility. A decision, much like an incision, cuts. And when we fully decide and we step forward in that vision, we step forward and we say, look, there's no turning back. This is what I'm doing, and this now becomes the right decision. When we go all in, everything that's not that will appear. If I were to say, you know what, and this is something that happened for me a couple years ago, I remember I would say the mantra to myself, because, I have ADHD, and I would start a million projects or have a million ideas, a million different things going on, but I wouldn't be great at actually getting into completion energy. So what I would tell myself whenever I felt myself floating off or getting distracted or excited about a shiny new thing, I would say, no, I complete what I start. 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 I'm no longer that. I complete what I start. And let me tell you, I got faced with a whole lot of new challenges, new experiences that got to show me where I did not complete what I started. And so we get to create these mantras. We get to create these new ways of being. It's not an affirmation, it's an incantation. Because I am is the most powerful statement we will ever say. Because our brains are constantly listening. So when we calibrate, I want us to step out for a moment and think a little bit bigger than what the vision may be right now. Get that bird's eye view of not where you are right now, but where you're headed. Right? Because I'm not interested in the current reality. We need to know that information so that we know where the GPS is, right? We start out here. But where are we going? What are you up to in the world? What are you up to in the world? As we calibrate and we step out into this brand new way of being, we get to fulfill a legacy and a responsibility that we hold for the world. Think about that. Whatever it is that you're up to in the world, you have a responsibility to share your magic. You have a responsibility to fulfill, because that desire, that thing in your heart, that thing that's pulling you forward, that was put there for a reason. It wasn't given to Joe down the street or Samantha over there or, Tina over here. They're not going to understand your dream because it's not theirs. What you were given, what you were planted, this unique seed that you were given was given to you for a reason. So as we calibrate and step into a new way of being, into bold, powerful completion energy, into fulfilling our legacy and our responsibility to the world, we get to take a look at the bigger picture. And what I mean by that is that 5 years ago this month, I don't remember the exact day. I do know I got my business license on February 14th of 2018. But 5 years ago this month, I had a vision. And I know a lot of you know this story, but I had this vision. I was sitting in my living room. I had my cup of coffee in my hands and I was journaling when all of a sudden I had this vision of me standing on a stage. And I was like, nope, not me. Wrong person. Nope. And I fought it. I ran away. It didn't make sense. I was working in corporate during the time, made great money, had lots of prestige, had lots of, the title, the office, everything. But what happened was I kept getting that feeling. I had that feeling in my heart of hearts that I knew that I knew that I knew if I didn't follow that, I would live in regret. And if I could go back and tell myself 5 years ago, because I had this thought and this phrase come to me. And for me, it was God giving me this message to take the book off the shelf, dust it off because I'm not done writing your story. Last night, I had a powerful prophecy prayed over me. I kind of forgot about it until just now when I said that. But it was the same thing. Somebody said to me, you've got to stop running. You've got to stop running. Stop running from your purpose. Because God made you a fireball for a reason. What they didn't know is I had already strongly declared that on my birthday, I'm going to stand at a volcano to get the fire energy. And so, whatever stage, whatever phase you're at, if you're in chapter 1 of your story, if you're in chapter 7, if you're in chapter plot twist, I feel you, I hear you. The last year and a half of my life has been the biggest plot twist ever. I went and I hid for a while and, went through the things, went through the doubt, went through the self-sabotage, went through the fear. And you know what? The cool thing is the comeback is greater. The comeback is even greater. So as we write the story, maybe as we calibrate into this brand new year, into this brand new day, into this brand new moment, because we've never been in this moment before. You've never lived this day before in your life. As we calibrate and we step out and we celebrate, maybe your story didn't start out so great. Maybe your story didn't start out so great. I remember thinking at one time that I was just dealt the bad hand. And that's it. I was just dealt the bad hand. Oh, well, it's life. But whatever your story started out with, whatever, triumphant things have happened, whatever the worst day has been for you, whatever the worst moment, the worst era, just know that your worst moment can become your greatest story. The test becomes the testimony. When we choose to calibrate, we choose to step out, we choose to make a decision that this is going to be the catalyst at which we jump off and we create a new story. When we calibrate into this brand new way of being, when we calibrate into this brand new world, remember, it's not just about you. We are literally fulfilling a legacy and a responsibility that you hold for the world. That you hold for the world. What is that legacy? And I want you to really tap into it for yourself. Tap deep into it. And I want you to really encourage yourself to put aside whatever it is you think you should be, or something that's going to make your family happy or your spouse happy or whatever that is, like really for you. What is the legacy that you are choosing to calibrate to? When we say the word success, each one of us could have a different meaning for that. Usually what happens for me is my clients come to me and they're like, I want to make more money. I want to get to this point. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then they get there and they're like, oh, still not happy. And when we are the heart-centered, beautiful people, when we are the heart-centered entrepreneurs, what happens is we're pulled forward by something greater. Purpose, desire, passion. So what is that for you? I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming to the group for a moment.